Very good evening, everyone. Today we'll be doing the second lecture. Second lecture, geography के second lecture ngasi tawdoi ni. Ngasi tamdoi se ko interior of the earth and seismic waves tamni ko. Woi earth ke interior ke information se ka kamaina phangge haiba se koina source ani khang lei direct haiba ma indirect haiba ma. Direct ta ki di yam phang source se yam kana sigi direct ke source da information yam phangde. Kitang khaktani mangonde phangi se naturally akoina direct ke phangi se rocks volcanic activity dage information khar phangi ko rock ki khoi gi certain maun da leiriba elements khaido kamaina differ to wi manung da leira maduna kamaina differ to wi mapani sina kamaina differ to wi hai bagi matang da khara di khangi so and then khoi gi volcanic activity is 400 kilometer up to 7000 kilometer sidagi tholak pani ko volcanic kenu se component khai what are volcanic component akoina manung da leragana magma kawi ko mapan tholagana lava ko lava dagi khoina certain information khangba ngami about the density about the elements that are present ko there so akoina ngarang gi the density differentiation process nam tangi ko the denser material was ngasagi manungda loin le hawraga ayangba component khai element khai se loina inthori haibagi theory am tamgi dana nga ati matungina sumaina akhoi lava volcanic activity thokma tam lava ta yauri ba khoi gi keno khai se they are denser ko mine khangba ngam dai di human effort ta khoi mining with a 4 kilometer bo khoi depth tawre and then up to 2 kilometer we have went to the depth of the earth ko so this is very limited information ko yam information cham phang banat kite hai tare indirect sources dai ne khoi mainly khangi se first the measurements and calculation based temperature se there's an increase of 1 degree celsius if we go to the depth of the surface of the earth for every 32 meter ko 1 degree celsius sagat saba je hengali ko 32 meter se akoina taw changma matamda 32 meter yow area se there will be an increase of 1 degree celsius ko like density of the continental rocks the 2.7 gram per centimeter cube the ocean floor rocks na 3 gram per centimeter cube in tai se kaino khaingrang then akoi ki ocean floor se di mathakta continental floor se floor tor layer na akoi ngarang ha petang pan gi bodo madu oidoi ni masi matang sita density differentiation to difference to density madu khangba ngame ko okay and then space based meteors asteroids and other akoigi objects planetary objects mayam sigi da kitang khangba ngami these are not very important the most important thing that we need to know is seismic waves waves and forces mayam amudi like gravity forces magnetic forces makon information se kalo phangde ko the most important one is seismic wave seismic waves is nothing akwai earthquake thuk iba keno do earthquake se seismic wave makalam ni ko seismic wave ni haita okay we'll get to know seismic wave is a kind of sudden release of substantial energy in the interior of the earth my sudden release of energy substantial energy combined release story no hai kan koi plate tectonic theory nam le it's very accepted koi ki earth ki crushing se plate oina loin mak tower lei ko and they move in certain direction ko we'll get to know this when time comes ko masi su dil tor kini sumaina engine na labor plate ani sta tension build tor ko tension build tor ibe areas se suddenly at some point sudden release ama displacement am thok pa ai tar sumaina mama na makha changam na mathak ta changbo oi bi or anything it may break which causes substantial amount of energy release in the interior of the earth. This is seismic wave ko seismic wave se sini magi horok pham se khoi gi Mana sudden release of energy se talk an interior of the earth. I think you have heard this term. Yam mayam na sudum yam common noiba. Hypocenter is a terrible. Hypocenter is nothing but the point where the sudden release of energy happens ko in the interior of the earth. Earth ki interior da ngasai gi energy release toriba koi tension sagalamaga sudden release thok area do, that is known as hypocenter. And then obviously you have heard about epicenter also. So manung release to matam da na everywhere on the earth, every direction on the earth, the seismic body waves every direction travel tawi ko akoina lem ki shade tama mana lem pham lai re manung da bulb lai le bulb than matam da loi mak ngalak tro every direction travel taw tro. Likewise seismic body waves isu everywhere travel tawi ko. Okay, this point is the hypocenter. Masi ko no hypocenter se where the substantial energy is being released ko, that is known as hypocenter. This happens in the interior of the earth. Interior of the earth travel to waves koina body wave ko seismic body wave. Surface lakan surface wave haidun, we'll get to know this. Epicenter is in a kind of hypocenter ki hack vertically above the labor quite the 10 but distance the labor area do madu bokan epicenter and ko epicenter se quite the 10 area haram in a quite the energy to so quite the wang do ni ko maunda. This is why epicenter da koina earth ki magnitude on momentum da epicenter da all is this is because this energy, the seismic body waves has traveled the shortest distance in this region ko, just above the hypocenter, just vertically above the hypocenter, the shortest distance ko. This is known as epicenter. Epicenter in a high ko gyan tarabo sibo. Okay, koi si khang gre yare aditi seismic body waves akoigi earth keno da on ba device to earthquake thok matam da magi magnitude on ba device to seismograph ko ko. I think all of you know this. P wave se keno kan se longitudinal wave ni. So this is the direction of the propagation of the wave. P wave se sigi direction se travel to ko. Longitudinal wave hai se kari no hai bacha. Let's get to know this. Longitudinal which expand and contract in the direction of the wave movement ko, or traveling like travel to iba distance direction se som dani ko. So mana maning mamang mana like spring layer ko spring jina tension se maning mamang singaga lak poto adumaina akoigi primary wave season contract and then expand to maning mamang da sumaina direction of the propagation of the wave to chaliba direction dugi to and fro the chalaga lakpa wave to adubo koina p waves ko iko. And then p waves na han balakani ko. This is the first wave to be traveling on the body of the interior of the earth ko. Is this the first body wave? And then second the koigi S wave and assume the S waves ko. P waves is nothing but primary wave, and then second wave. This is the second wave to travel on the body of the earth. S waves in a carino. S waves in a transverse wave niko. What is this transverse wave? Like water. This is perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of the wave. Sumaina C ki kaino se C ki sumaina travel tropa se C sibo khona kari hai ge kan the transverse wave hanai hai ko like water khona ising da ripple thokpado sumaina sigi kano se this is known as transverse wave ko transverse wave ta zo ani thong lei sina vertically thoi ko vertically on the propagation of the wave ko direction of the propagation of the wave today to the vertically lagadi this is known as transverse wave ko transverse wave ta zo ani thoi haining is pot I think I quite confused alamani S wave is the transverse wave ni like water see example the na like water masi ningsing biro si ningsing agati I think you will get to know water gi akoi gi kaino travel torpado ising da nung yai matam da ripple effect am thoga chat pa wave to madu is imagine to view this will make you more clear ko and then koi machine is later these are what seismic body wave ni ko and then there is another type seismic surface waves this is earthquake se masina thon doi ni ko earthquake thoi se seismic surface wave ngasai body wave to the manung the interior of the earth yes body wave to na surface wave thon bani but body wave is not the cause of earthquake surface wave ola kandani khoi earthquake thok thoi se ko surface wave se su khoi na ani thong lei first Rayleigh wave Ibama second love wave or LUB FAV sumaina ko ani thong lei Rayleigh waves na karino what is this Rayleigh waves both are transverse animak na transverse wave ni ko ani ki difference hai Rayleigh waves na kaino hai kan sta vertical transverse like water up and down this na koi Rayleigh wave koi ko love wave sina transverse wave ni animak okay ngasai gi expand and contract tower lakuduna karineva primary wave p waves ko transverse waves na s wave to ni ko and then s wave says dagi akoina surface wave lakre ko surface wave sidani akoina hujik de tawri ko let's not get confused ko okay this travels like snake lingamana na this is the propagation this direction of the propagation of the wave ko maina phaidok phaijin tawraga lakpa se sina up down lakpa Rayleigh waves na love waves na sumaina phaidok phaijin tawra lakpa se this is love wave okay hojik se koina sigi seismic waves sina kamaina earth ki interior khang ge information kamai khang ge habdo kamina se which characteristic helps us to understand the earth's interior asi kaino kamina se ko seismic waves body waves ko test na koina from nakandana p waves and this side it will be s waves ko up the speed which one is faster this is faster ko this is comparatively slower high bani ko yan now comparative I see which means there's a comparison ko yang budi yang ini ba aduda p wave ne yangi haibe one in which they travel. Medium in which they travel haveniko. Sisa. P wave se karam medium the travel toge. Madi loimak. All solid, gases, and liquid. Everywhere madi travel tobungamiko. Surface wave ti solid only. Solid ta kakta ni man travel tobugamise. Okay. Masi later. And then bending. Sigi bending sidagi ni akoy na earth ki interior ki matangda loi khangak to rise. This bending is the ko. This is the most important. Bending sa habadana when density changes. P wave sa density change to ga di bend tong ni ko to the tissue one within. When density changes, here also changes. Density change to kanda masu bending to equal. Second, when medium changes. Medium change to kanda di sorry. Medium change to kanda si bend tong ni ko. Here, they stop. They don't travel anymore. Medium change to get moi travel to bangamte. For example, solid tegi laga liquid tadi moi chat pangamte. Power ga chat pangamte ko. This is ti sidagi ne koina art ki interior ki matang da information mayam ama khang toris. Kamaina khang tori ke hai se we'll get to know from this. Diagram. From this diagram. Aigi notebook tagi diagram ni ko. First up, this is hypocenter. Okay, listen to me carefully. This is hypocenter ni ko. Akoy ki han bada S wave te gyan haude ni ko. This is S wave. Akoy ki hypocenter sita energy release to matam sita everywhere on the direction of the earth. Kasagi S wave se travel loi tok do ni interior of the earth loi travel to ni haina expect to ko. If the earth is composition of the earth is kaino haitare manara magadi ko. Yeah, listen to me carefully. Muna tabi ko. And then figure 2 dana, this is the actual observation ko. Earthquake to matam da ko na masi se observe lo intawi how the S wave travels, how the P waves travel, and this is the source of information where we get to know about the interior of the earth ko. Actual observation dana kamay to kay consists to certain point mas travel tormi ko. Travel sa tum torm badagi S wave shadow region am thui. Where is this point? 105 degrees ko. 105 degrees tagi, and then this point up to 180. Here 0 degree ne low re ko epicenter sa, and then at the other point there will be 180 degree. Masi consider to matam dai sida ngasagi S wave na travel to is there would be an S wave shadow region this area. Why this happen? Because the core of the interior gi akhoi ki core sa masi liquid oi bagi travel to bangam drine na sumaina see the derive to ko. What this give us is that masi the high is karino high consider S wave shadow region like say there is a medium change. So interior of the earth se akoy gi earth se loimak solid oina laite. At certain point there are some liquid ko, and it may be at the core, it may be somewhere else as per this information. So masida gine akoy na only up to 105 degrees ko surface akoy gi kaino se S wave se travel to ko. Mai lai ra liquid inside the earth masi laye na ko information am derive tawgre ko masi de conclusion se kaino. The liquid center is known as the core of the earth, which is at a depth of 2900 km from the surface of the earth, and hence earth has a radius of around 3500 km. Similarly, liquid core se masi se liquid oina lay hana information amadi akoina phangba ngammi ko as per this observation. P wave observation da riyangas P wave tana kamaina kari akoina khangba ngamge heto se nasai okay kano the ning bending is when medium changes P wave the bend tawi but it doesn't stop. In case of S wave tadi kadawa medium change to kan di mase wave se travel to with the left ki hydra. That is the derivation. Akon hojik ta yeng de ba this sta thoi je kaino medium change to kan travel to with the shadow region thoi na tro. Likewise sumaina P wave su thoi P wave ta na P wave ki du shadow region am lai ko P wave ki shadow region am lai P wave observation diagram that P wave liquid core area are to appear up to 105 region from the epicenter, but the P wave which 105 which entered the liquid are further bending so that they are not able to appear before 105. Here, 105 tagi 145 degrees region this is P wave shadow region. Kai gino masibo sai travel to kan ta liquid ta chang matum da bending am thok ro that bending that doesn't let the P wave to be traveling in this region, and this region is known as P wave shadow region. So from this conclusion we get to know that the earth's core is liquid. Masigi interior of the earth must minor khangakpani haidare certain calculations and then certain indirect information. We have not gone to the depth of the core to extract the direct information. It is derived from certain observations and calculation that we have done so far. Masini haying is okay. Masida de koina interior of the earth kamaina lay ke beto masi khang bhoi ko. Okay, interior of the earth se tam let's finish this and then let's do one thing. Let's end it here. Sigi final interior of the earth hayeng towers physical characteristic to sumaina si su yam confused paniko koigi crust mental core this na chemical state and characteristic niko physical dana koigi noigi mayamam khaidorok ten astronosphere mis adugi mayam to that will be the okay then asigi matang loisilase. If not then it will be very long and